Hey, g'day legends, and thanks for tuning in. I'm up the block, and as you can see, I've had a big clean out. We're getting ready to move into the tiny home. So I've cleared the shed out. All the projects are outside at the minute. And I got to thinking, what's the next project that I want to sort of put on the road and that's going to be most sort of useful to me? I'll give you a hint. It involves that old blue AT4 and my rust-free C-Series International cab. So grab your frothy and your coffee, kick back, relax, and enjoy the vid. Rightio legends, like I was saying, first part of this project starts with this old blue AT4. I rescued it locally. I mean, you can tell she's proper rough. The cab's beyond saving, but it is originally a dually truck. I pinched the diff out of this thing. I was going to use it in the wife's project, but I've changed direction with what I'm going to do with her old AR cab. I'm not going to put it on that old AR 131 chassis. Decided I'm going to put it on a Chevy C20 chassis, so that frees that diff up. So I'm going to put the dually diff back under the rear end of this thing. It's got the factory dually style front end, so that's what I'm really looking for. I want to build a dually for myself, something that old school looking but can tow a lot. So with that in mind, the old Hemi, she's just got to go. The old single barrel 245. This thing runs like a treat, but yeah, she ain't got the mumbo that we're going to need. So, which brings me to my next point. I scored that 6.4 Hemi, I think come out of a Jeep. So I've been wondering what I'm going to do with the Hemi, and I was just putting two and two together, so I thought that's going to make a great tow truck donk. So we're going to slip the old 6.4, and I scored myself a 727. The 727 obviously needs rebuilding, but the story goes those 727s bolt straight onto the 6.4s or the late model Hemis, the 5.7s, the 6.1s and all that. So going to use that 353 Dodge chassis, 6.4 Hemi, 727 transmission, and I'm going to go ahead and use me rust-free C-Series International cab. So as you see, this thing has been bodyworked, it's in primer, the guards are there. I just went and grabbed the radiator support panel and the inner guards from this thing, for this thing from my dad's place the other day. So I really wanted an AB International, that's what I wanted to build, but I just can't find the front sheet metal, or if you find it, everyone wants $1 million for it. Must be gold plated these days. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead, build it as a C-Series, but I'm so stoked on this thing. It's probably going to take a while to put together, obviously, but with all the rearranging in the shed, and I didn't want to build another International cab and a Holden chassis. I've done that. I really wanted a dually, so I'm just thinking, well, the bits I got, and this is just going to go to waste. Got an awesome rust-free cab there to go, the 6.4, the Torque Flight, so it just makes sense to chuck it all together. So first stop we're going to do is rip this old cab off. I already had a look. The radiator support panel is already rusted away, so it's no longer attached to the chassis, as you can see. So that's already taken care of. So it's basically the steering column and the rear mounts, I'm pretty sure. So I'll take care of that, get that out of the road. I might go and get the that AR 131 chassis with the dually diff, so I can stick the diff back under this thing, get it roller. We'll snag that Hemi out of it, that Hemi and that 4-speed out of it, and then we'll probably set a good cab on it, roll it inside, mate that Torque Flight up to the Hemi, see how that fits in there. I haven't got a sample timing cover or any of that stuff yet. I just want to get a sort of rough idea, sort of a rough mock-up on this thing, work out what I need and how I'm going to go forward with it. But I'm proper stoked. Like I say, it's a bit of a long-term project, but while I'm shuffling everything around, I want to sort of commit to the builds that are going to stay in the shed and put the stuff outside that can go outside. So yeah, enough talking, let's rip into it, eh? Rightio, so I've been playing around with this thing for about 5 minutes. Turns out I already pulled the rear cab mount bolts out of this thing a while ago, so they're already disconnected. I did release the steering box and the pitman arm, so they're all hanging down, that's all loose. Speedo cable has been cut, so that's good. I think it should be all good to go. Like I said, the radiator support, it's already rusted away, so we'll hook the forky up. Yeah, see if she can lift off. I guarantee there'll be a few bits of wiring and all that, but nothing the old forky can't handle. So yeah, let's set her up and rip her off. Oh yeah, well that was harder than it needed to be. Turns out you got to take the front body mounts off too. A trick for young players. Got a bit excited and started ripping her off. Forgot about the front body mounts. Anyway, got her off. As you can see, that cab is proper sad. But anyway, she's left the building, out of the road now. So gonna get to, I've got to knock these engine mounts off, those gearbox mounts off, and I'll probably just cut the bolts for this drive shaft support. Get that out of the road, rip it out. I'll probably just, yeah, scrape all the crap off this chassis, then wheel it inside. I don't know if I'll get the diff next, probably should. Go and get the diff, sit it back under it, make it a roller inside, and then hopefully I'll, yeah, get that 6.4 off the engine stand and see if I can offer that torque flight up to it. And then, yeah, get it set up in here, slip the engine transmission in there. Have no idea how these engine mounts are going to work out. Probably a fair bit of work, I'd say. There's the where the factory engine mounts bolt on. There's nothing left there. So anyway, we'll work it as we go. Rightio, so as we can see, I've got the chassis inside. I'll give it a bit of a rinse off. I don't think it's quite high enough yet, but that's as high as I can go with those stands. So I bought the AR in. I've already unbolted the U-bolt, so all I've got to do is lift the chassis up and that diff will roll out. But I think before I do that, I'm gonna grab this cab off and go and set it on that Chevy chassis, get it out the road, and that way I can just pick the whole chassis up, take it away, and then roll that diff in, so yeah. Rightio, so obviously got that transmission bolted to the Hemi. That worked out really good. Bolted on as per advertised, so that was awesome. Sat the donk in there, had a bit of wiggling around to do. What I ended up doing was actually going out to the old 245 and grabbing the engine mounts off it. Obviously not because they're going to work, but just to prop the block up to where I need it. So where it's sitting, if this is where it's going to live, it's going to work out really good because, yeah, that's the mounting pads for the original engine mount. So I reckon if I get 2 new Hemi engine mounts, I can make a plate to pick that up, and that is going to work out a proper treat. So like I say, I haven't got the sump yet, but looks like I've got onto a 300C sump. Looks like I've got plenty of clearance there. So if this thing sort of stays where it's sitting at the moment, I think it's going to work out really well. Obviously just got a couple of bits of timber there to keep the transmission up. I've got enough room to get the pan off the transmission to service it. So what I might do now is go and sneak out, grab that cab, bring it in and set it on and see how it sits in relation to that engine. I'm hoping it's pretty close. That's the original mount there for some of the V8s and stuff, so I think it's pretty close. It may have to sneak forward, I'm not too sure. As you can see, it's already forward of the center line of the front axle. Hopefully it's going to live where it is, not too sure, but we will find out once we set the cab on. That'll give us a lot better idea. So sneak around and grab it and drag her on, eh? So I'm proper stoked with how this thing's turned out. As you can see, I've hung the front sheet metal on this thing just very, very roughly, but it gives you an idea of the engine situation. So as you can see, I've got bulk room to the firewall. I've got bulk room for exhaust manifolds. I've sat a spare radiator that I got in this thing is for an International V8. Not sure if I'm gonna run that yet or not, but just to give you an idea of how everything's fitting, and I'm proper stoked on this thing. The transmission's got plenty of room in there as well. Like I said, I haven't mounted this thing properly yet, but it's basically sitting where it's going to sit. So just to get an idea, I put that front sheet metal on, and it looks like it's all going to work out. An absolute treat, and I can't be more stoked on it. Like I said, it's a bit of a long-term project. Not sure when I'm really gonna get stuck into it, but just the fact that I was having to move everything around, move all the projects around, I wanted to sort of put the right cab and the right chassis and get this thing sat in here. So that's what I did. Spent the day doing that, and I'm so stoked I did, because yeah, this thing's proper cool. I haven't got a dually, never had a dually, so now yeah, I get to build my own Hemi powered International, cruising down the road. It's gonna be awesome, and I can't wait. So as always, I appreciate you watching. If you can do us a favor, like, comment, share and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.